A belated happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody watching along with us, and welcome back to the BRP iRacing series and the 2023-2024 season. Welcome to the virtual Lanier Raceway in the virtual Brazelton, Georgia, I believe is the name of the town. Right across the street from Road Atlanta, Jonathan Howe and Joe Donahue bringing you the Murder Graphics World 100, which is race 16 and which has been announced as the final race of the BRP iRacing Series season. Jonathan, belated happy St. Paddy's to you. Hopefully you're not too hungover from your weekend, brother.
No, you know what? It was a working weekend for me, buddy. So I was on air on 97.7 Hits FM and busy with that sort of stuff. But was glad to have an off day regardless today. And I guess not too much of an off day because we got some race cars to talk about here one more time.
That is right. 8 drivers lined up for the last showing of this season. The drivers and officials have decided the World 100 would suit us to bring us to the close. So 100 laps in the feature tonight. We've got qualifying ready to go to start off with these drivers, and the championship's pretty much easily already been decided, Jonathan. It is the Cody Higbie show this season, and as he hits the track here shortly for his qualifying laps, I think is a very well-deserved title for him, especially considering his fight last year and then just how dominant he's been with this season.
Yeah, it's you know what, he really put together a great year last year, but this year he's been pretty much impeccable. I mean, there's not much that he could have done any better. I mean, I think he's only been off the podium maybe once, twice all year long, if that, Joe. So, I mean, deserving champion. I don't care how many more or less races we ran. I don't think anybody was going to be able to top what Cody Higbie has been able to do this season.
I would 100% agree with that. I think no matter if we had 1 race left or 10 races left, you're just not going to take down Cody Higbie with this season. He's done a hell of a job up front and well-deservingly will be crowned the champion at the end of this evening's show. The big fight, the big thing to watch tonight is going to be the fight for second place in the points. The driver of the number 84, the reigning champion from last season, Ryan Beagle, and the driver of the number 80 car, who's currently fastest in qualifying, Dominic Roselli, separated by a single point, basically means whoever finishes with more points from tonight should be crowned the second place driver in the title. So that's going to be the 2 drivers you're going to want to watch out for in the championship tonight. We've got 8 drivers with us. The 2 Roselli brothers, Cody Higbie, Alan Slight, Ryan Beagle, Matt DeRitter, Dean Meitzler, and Pat Reiser, who you see on your screen right here, doing a couple extra laps past his qualifying times. The 2 Murder Graphics cars are the 2 left on track, the MRDR Designs main sponsored machine. That's Matt DeRitter, the showcase for tonight, the host of tonight from Lanier. This is a racetrack that Matt DeRitter is really, actually rather good at, Jonathan. This is where he got his first win with the series as well.
Yeah, you know what? I think this is going to be a track where I don't want to say we're going to get any surprise winners because I feel like every time I say there's going to be a surprise, like, you know, we get a Cody Higbie who steps up and wins in a big way. But you know what? Of all the nights to just go for it, I feel like DeRitter, maybe why not? Why not? Why can't he get it done? So far, it needs a little bit more pace in terms of if he wants to start up towards the front, he'll have to move through the field in the heat. But you know what? I think give this guy 100 laps around Lanier. I think he's going to figure it out and probably get towards the front.
I would agree with that. He's figured it out before. And I do have to correct myself. I don't think it was his first win, but I came onto this series, 4 years ago as a broadcaster, and it took about 2.5 seasons of me being here for him to win a race. So as far as my memory goes, it's the first time I saw him win. But I think he's got maybe 1 before that as well, maybe 2. So it's neither to say. This is a special racetrack for him. So fitting for it to be the host of the World 100 in his name, in the Murder Graphics name. But he's going to have a little bit of a tall task, like Jonathan just mentioned, to get to the front at least, to start the feature closer to the pole. But we have to set that grid, and to set that grid, we'll look at the starting lineup for heat race number 1 of 1 tonight. Starting from pole, last time's winner, Dominic Roselli in the number 80 Van Sickle electric car. To his outside, Cody Higbie in the Iceless number 97, the champion of this series by points default. starting third place on the grid. The Slight Electrical number 2 is Alan Slight, and to his outside in the red and black number 84 is Ryan Beagle out of the Great White North. Anthony Roselli in the other Van Sickle electric car goes from 5th place. That's car number 7. 6th place is Matt DeRitter in the MDR Designs Murder Graphics number 03, representing New Jersey. Driving in the number 49, representing the Keystone State of Pennsylvania, is Dean Meitzler, and from the tail, the Teach Pat Reiser in the Murder Graphics number 33. That's the lineup. That's the skit. That's the game for tonight's showdown. Jonathan, I'll let you take the call as we begin the first heat race of the evening.
Getting ready to roll here. Dominic Roselli has been the hot driver of the last month or so. We'll see what he's got starting from the front row with the soon-to-be named champ, Cody Higbee. Cody Higbee going to try to go for the crossover move out of corner number 2. He'll get to the inside of that 80 of Dominic Roselli. 3 wide for a brief moment as Al Slate sent it in there. He's going to make contact with DeRitter. I think DeRitter's up into the wall. He looks like he's going to be able to keep it going, but he lost all kinds of track position after that one.
Yeah, that was not a great run through those sets of turns for Alan Slight. He had a really great starting position in this heat race and already falls back to 6th place now. Maybe he can find a way around Dean Meitzler, get himself back into the top 5, but he fell out of the points-paying positions for the bonus points of these heat races. And speaking of those bonus points for these heat races, Dominic Roselli, who's second in the points, he's the one with a 1-point advantage over Ryan Beagle. He needs these bonus points just to give him that little extra cushion as we go into the feature race tonight. Right now looking at 4 bonus points, Ryan Beagle only looking at 2. Jonathan, I don't know if I would expect much more out of this heat race, though. It looks like the track is still a little bit young for us.
Yeah, I think the warm-up session is going to do a lot to age this facility, and that might create some more lanes. As we see some guys fanning out, you can see Higbee mostly gravitating towards the middle of the racetrack, especially through 3 and 4, while some guys are pushing up right against where the cushion is for now, in Ryan Beagle in particular. Roselli doing a good job pacing the field out front. Looks like if you're taking that high line, you can enter with a little bit more speed, but you still got to get the car woed up in the center of the corner, and that's kind of where you give back that time you make up on entry.
Absolutely it is. White flag's going to come out for these guys this time by. Dean Meitzler and Alan Slight still putting on a little bit of a show for 5th place, and the battle for 3rd place getting a little closer between Anthony Roselli and Ryan Beagle through 3 and 4. We'll see if there's any run, and then we're going to have to cut back. Oh, little contact for both of them. I think that's going to take Anthony out of contention for it. As we come to the checkered flag, Dominic Roselli going to win the heat race over Cody Higbee. Ryan Beagle and his brother Anthony will take home 4th place. That's going to set the starting order for the feature race, which is to come after this 5-minute warm-up session. And Jonathan, it's the last warm-up session of the year. It's our last opportunity to kind of reminisce and talk about this season and talk about what you're expecting out of tonight based upon what you've seen so far this year. And I'm really curious to hear your take on us coming here after we had gone to Kokomo. It's another really small track. It's a little more symmetrical, but do you think there's some translation between those two races?
I think there has to be a little bit that maybe you can learn. I think especially the guys who are great through the center of the corner at Kokomo, I think they're going to be able to maybe take some of that and apply it here. But it all comes down to how much this track widens out in this session as they try to burn it in just a little bit, try to buzz in the top side, widen out the groove, and we'll see where exactly the lines start to develop here. But I think the drivers that are good through the center of the corner, that's going to be the key to this race. Anybody can make speed down the straightaways. Anybody can sail it on in there, on the outside, on the inside, wherever you're going to run. But can you carry that momentum through the center? Kind of like we're seeing Cody Higbee do, you know. He's got such a smooth, middle of 1 and 2, middle of 3 and 4. That seems to be where he can kind of make some time and not really give up a lot of track position to some of his competition, at least the way we're seeing him race with DeRitter and with Dominic Roselli right now. Yeah, and I'm looking at Ryan Beagle, too, because, Beagle's lap time is very close to Higbee's. Actually, you can see on your screen it's about 3 thousandths, right? Tenths, 100 thousandths. Yep, thousandths of a second between the two, and Beagle's line is a little bit more of a diamond, more aggressive, but they're still pretty close to the same lap time, so it might be showing that the track's working in a little nicely for us here as we get set to go for the Murder Graphics World 100. We have to take an opportunity here while we have a second. It's been a long season, and we've gotten a lot of great support from Murder Graphics, MDR Designs, Creative Turnings, the Southern Ontario Dirt Show,
47 Technology, Dig Race Products, BRPtv, the Susi family, everybody who's watched along, everybody who's supporting their drivers, and everybody who helps BRPtv be what it is. We definitely would not be here without everybody that we've just mentioned, especially not Matt DeRitter, Corby, obviously Jonathan alongside me here. It is a coalition of a lot of people who do a lot of things for this series, and it is a pleasure to be a part of it. It has been a pleasure to bring this season to everybody, and we are looking forward to having one more good go at it, I'd say.
Yeah, you know what? I think this is going to be a great night of racing action, and I, for one, cannot wait to get things going. I know 8 cars on the field. It's going to be a little bit of a strange way to end the season when we had so much hype at the start of the season. But I really want to give a congratulations to all the drivers that have continuously showed up and made some great events throughout the year. A remarkably clean year. You know, last year I came into the series, Joe, and, you know, it kind of felt like we had some pretty caution crazy events, and I can't really say that anything we had this year was even close to that. I think maybe the most we had was 3 or 4 cautions in one go at any point in the season, and it was early on when we had some bigger fields. So I'm quite happy with how this has played out, and you know what, I really just can't wait to wrap up the season on a high with what is going to be, I think, a great race from Lanier.
Absolutely agree with that. And while you mentioned it, I will make a shout out to our drivers. So we've had 16 now of these races, including tonight, and we've got 5 guys. That's fitting, 5 guys. I don't actually like 5 guys that much, but 5 guys.
How dare you?
I know, I'm terrible. They have good milkshakes, though. The 5 drivers who have been at every single race. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. There's 4 of them. It took me this long to realize we're missing one of them. So there are 4 drivers who have made it to every single race this year, and we have to send big congrats and thank yous to Cody Higbee, Ryan Beagle, Dominic Roselli, and Anthony Roselli for being the 4 guys to show up nonstop every single week to support this series. Honorable mentions being Gavin Isley, Matt DeRitter, and Dean Meitzler. They've all only missed one event, and I just realized Gavin Isley was, I was about to read the list, and then I had to put 2 and 2 together there, but had a couple guys who have missed races for some various life situations, may not becoming grandfathers, Mr. Meitzler, or Matt DeRitter dealing with college. So, you know, it's hard to do 16 weeks consistently, but we really appreciate the guys who did, because it takes a lot of effort to be able to be available and be on it for all of those nights in a row. And that's beautiful.
Session winding up here, and Joe, I couldn't have said it better myself. You know, big thanks to all those guys. Those are the, you know, that's the loyalty that makes the series go round, right? And it allows us to continue to do this, and the fact that we are going to be moving forward in a different sort of way, and maybe a new look as soon as the summer, maybe next fall. There's still so many details to be ironed out, but I'm excited to see where we go from here, and I think there's a lot of reasons for optimism.
I would agree with that, definitely, and we're looking forward to being a part of it too. It's going to be a good off-season from this. The regular racing season will go strong, and then we'll reconvene in the winter months and keep ourselves warm and cozy with iRacing once we get back on stage, but will be fun to get there. Got to do the starting lineup quickly. We got a short track on our hands. The pole sitter is going to be Dominic Roselli, the Van Sickle electric number 80 car, blue, pink, and white. To his outside is going to be Cody Higbee in the number 97 machine again. Ryan Beagle going to go from third in the Ackland Insurance RK Automotive machine. And then to his outside, going to be A-Rose, Anthony Roselli in the pink, white, and grayish black car. Alan Slight going to go from 5th place in the yellow and green Slight electrical machine. And then Dean Meitzler to his outside in the Dirt Defender Icon Performance number 49. Matt DeRitter is supposed to start 7th, although we just got a message. He had a hardware issue. His computer shut down on him, so he is going to miss the call for the start of the race itself. Pat Reiser will go all on his lonesome in row 4, win the Murder Graphics number 33. So that's the field, and 100 laps to set it up. They're going to get the green flag from the flag stand here in the hands of the 80 car Dominic Roselli, and for one final time, in this season. The lights are out. The flag's ready. The green flag is racing ready, and we are going into turn number 1. Dominic Roselli all the way down to the bottom. Slides up to the top. What's Cody Higbee going to do in turn 3?
Higbee going to make the dive to the inside. We saw this in the heat race. He wasn't able to make the pass down there, but he'll continue to battle on the inside and looks to have a little bit more success, Joe. I think that bottom line is going to be at least usable early in this race to maybe make some ground up.
Well, it's looking okay right now for Higbee. He's at least holding on to the spot here as we're going to finish the second lap already. Anthony Roselli right there behind his brother Dominic on the outside of the racetrack. You can see that there is plenty of grip everywhere on the surface except for right there. Actually, we're losing a little bit of the entry at turn number 3. Cody Higbee staying strong beside Dominic. Still Dominic at the line, though, as they crossed that time by.
Yeah, I'm going to watch this here again because I'm not 100% sure that Dominic didn't just overdrive the corner or if it's the track that's changing. You can see, though, as soon as he hits that apex, the car just goes straight towards the wall, and he's not really able to diamond off of the corner either, where, you know, you enter, they always teach you in karting, you know, there's 2 ways to go about it: enter low, wash out high, and then come back in, or vice versa. But the diamond that he's trying to run in 3 is not really working. He's not able to really get the car back down with any sort of momentum, and that's allowing Cody Higbee to pull ahead and will clear, looks to clear anyways. Can't do it this time. Coming down the front stretch, he will clear Dominic Roselli for the lead.
Yep, Higbee's led. He led past the line a few laps ago, and it's been a fairly strong battle between these 3 since then, but Cody Higbee able to control at least the very front point of this race. Oh, look who's getting into the picture now. Ryan Beagle is showing up a little bit. He kind of fell off the start of this race, but he's right back in the show, and he definitely needs to get in there if he wants to fight for that second place in the championship. Jonathan, it's a tough battle to do, and that'd be a tough driver to beat. Dominic Roselli at this point in the season for how strong he's been, but maybe Ryan Beagle can hope for something.
Yeah, the big dog's going to try to sniff out second place, but he's got 2-3 cars to pass to at least get up to the lead. And I think the biggest thing is just catching Dominic Roselli. With Anthony Roselli pressuring there too, that might work out in Beagle's favor. If Roselli, if we see some Roselli on Roselli violence like we've seen prior in the season, maybe that's exactly what Beagle needs to get up there and stir the pot. But right now they're all trying to work past Cody Higbee, but Higbee's doing just enough to hold everybody back with that bottom line, Joe.
Well, this is that kind of thing we talk about sometimes. It's better to just be patient and take care of your tires at this point, especially with how well Cody Higbee is defending everybody behind him. Maybe it's time to just get your corner entry straight and hold on to those tires for later, because Cody Higbee, but Higbee's doing such a great job of defending while also holding on to the car. He's not one to overdrive race cars, and it shows at the end of these races, but it's showing in his style right now.
Certainly is, and this is a long one to manage, Joe, and you don't want to burn the stuff up early. Anthony Roselli looking to the high side now. He's trying to make things work, and he'll try to get past Dominic, and he's actually making some pretty good ground, I think, on that outside line. If Dominic stays out of his way, I think it's going to be Anthony Roselli who's going to have the next shot at passing Cody Higbee. Higbee moves up to kind of take that line away from him, and that allows Dominic Roselli to fight back on the inside. 4-car battle for the top spots here in this one, and don't count out Dean Meitzler, who's right there lurking in the 5th position.
Dean Meitzler's back in the show. Whoa, we almost had a little Roselli contact there. Gets out of the way, and we stay clean for the moment. The bottom's getting a little bit slick down there, you can see, because Dominic's sliding up the racetrack here, makes contact with Ryan Beagle. Now he's going to try to see if he can slide in line. Beagle does not let that happen. And yes, Dean Meitzler holding on to the final spot at the top 5. Yikes.
That slider was not going to work. I don't know where Dominic Roselli was going. He tried the slider out of desperation, but Beagle was there, and the big dog did not make any room on the couch for him that time. Up on the cushion, everybody driving towards the top of the racetrack now, Joe. 5 cars in a line, in a row here. Meitzler's actually making some ground on Roselli. I almost wonder if Roselli was fighting so hard against Cody Higbee at the start of this race that maybe he burnt some stuff up. He's going to have to cool off the jets just a little bit here and manage this race for the next few, maybe the next couple 10, 20 laps here before he can maybe mount another charge.
Yeah, he's right now sitting behind Beagle in a position where he would be, I have to double check, 2 points down. So he had a point coming in. He got 2 more points than Ryan Beagle did in the heat race. And he actually started from the pole, so he got bonus points for being the fastest qualifier. And so Ryan Beagle has to make a couple more passes to get that championship spot back. That was the point of what I was saying there. Is right now, championship-wise, Dominic Roselli is doing enough, although you always want to win. And especially the last race of the year, you just want to win.
It's all that really matters. You want to go out on top, whether that's the top of the championship chase or if it is the actual win here tonight. But look, right now, Beagle, he's kind of cooled off as well. He was putting pressure on the top two, and he's still kind of taking a little bit of a run at Anthony Roselli, but he's also got to play defense because Dominic Roselli has been taking some aggressive strides towards trying to pass the 84. Not able to close up through that time through 3 and 4. It actually looks like the big dog's putting the pressure on Anthony Roselli as they're down to about 2 car lengths as they work down the backstretch into 3 and 4.
We're going to go check a little bit more further in the field here because it looks like Ryan Beagle might have to mount the charge again. Let's check back here with Alan Slight. There's 6th place on the grid right now. Pat Reiser in 7th place. He fell off a little bit. I heard him get a little loose a couple laps ago, and he looks like he's sending it in pretty hard. I wonder what that's about with the number 33 machine, if it's not quite driving to the style he likes, because that's very aggressive into those corners. Dean Meitzler still sitting in the top 5, looking maybe like he might gain on Dominic Roselli here. Only a quarter of the way into this race. Plenty of time for Dean to figure something else out here. Why don't we go on board with him? Let's go on board with the number 49 car.
Floats it down in there, nice. Not pushing too hard on exit. Just running his line nice and smooth. And that smoothness over 100 laps, Joe, that really might pay off because I feel like the top half of this grid is really going to burn their stuff up. I mean, we're seeing some passing happening out the windscreen, if you will, where it looks like Beagles might be able to slip by. Hasn't been able to complete the pass yet on Anthony Roselli. But I think, having a nice smooth line around here could pay off for Dean a little bit later on in the evening, I think.
I would agree with that, and I think especially with the track working the way it is right now, yeah, we could definitely see this come around. Although, if I'm honest, I did think Dean was a little bit sideways there to be really trying to hold on to those tires, because it's kind of a double-edged thing. You got to do 2 things at once if you want to really conserve the tires. You have to have straight entry, you have to not slide, and then you also have to be extremely careful with the throttle. So if you do both of those things, you can hold on to the car. And I know Dean was doing a really good job with the throttle. You just got to keep that angle down, and it'll help make those tires last a little bit longer. Although, if you do as Cody Higbee does, which you can see is kind of sideways, you're probably going to be fine. Because if there's somebody to mimic, it's going to be Cody Higbee this season.
Well, Cody, the other thing he's doing is he's finding all the fresh dirt, I should say, on the racetrack right now. He's right up on the cushion. He's almost putting it against the wall in search of that heavier clay, trying to make sure that he keeps that right rear cooled off. And, you mentioned the angle that Meitzler is taking. That's the problem with running the bottom here at Lanier, is that you have to turn the radius is so much shorter and aggressive. You have to slide the corner, otherwise you're not going to be able to get any sort of speed out of the corner. And when you're already trying to practice good throttle control like we saw Dean doing, that makes it really difficult.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Look out. Look out. Man, we're getting close to the wall now, huh? Yeah, we're getting a little speed shot action here, just showing how much of the racetrack these guys are using. Just in case you were curious, it's all of it. These guys are all over the place trying to follow that grip as much as possible. Dominic Roselli found a little bit, at least enough to get himself back into the race for second. His brother, Anthony, challenging the big dog still and not giving it up just yet, even though we're not even halfway into this race. They are racing for it now, Jonathan.
Yeah, definitely. They are moving and grooving. Oh, there's trouble. Dominic Roselli's going to go around after being bouncing off his brother Anthony a little bit. Caution will wave, and at lap 40, we've got our first caution of the event.
We do, and that was a fairly easy-going incident. We will watch the replay back, but should not be too surprising. We basically caught it on screen. So let's go back and check out the contact between the brothers. That's crazy. It is the brother-on-brother violence that we were wondering about, Jonathan, but nothing too crazy. Definitely not as much on the line as there was when they made contact at Port Royal, though.
No, Dominic is. I think with this, he's kind of. I don't want to say he's overdriving, but he's certainly being aggressive on entry. You can see him really throw it in there, and he's carrying a lot of speed and has nowhere to go with that speed except for into the side of that 7 car. As the 7 comes down ever so slightly, they make contact, and it's Dominic who's going to get the worst of it. Just 2 drivers going for the same real estate, maybe not realizing each other were going to be there. So. Pretty standard racing incident there, but who absolutely loves this is Ryan Beagle, the big dog. Great chance to make up some points with now Dominic having to come back through traffic. And, he showed he's got the pace to do it, but having pace is one thing, making passes is another.
Absolutely, and he's going to have to now pass everybody back, Dominic Roselli will. He's got Pat Reiser almost immediately, and we'll see if he can figure out a way to get to Slight, Meitzler, and so on and so forth. Alan Slight, using the bottom to his advantage, he's giving a battle go to Anthony Roselli. That was almost for third place. We're 4 wide through 1 and 2. Man, there aren't a ton of cars on the racetrack, but the racing's still exciting.
Absolutely, and I want to give a shout-out to Alan Slate, who was a part of the he had the Slate Electrical sprint car in the Merrittville Speedway Mall show that we just had, where we had more than a few guys take their dirt hot rods and put them on display at our local shopping mall in St. Catharines, Ontario, in promotion of the upcoming season. And Al's piece looking really good. Can't wait to see that on the racetrack. I'm not. I have to check the Merrittville schedule. I'm not sure when we're going to see Al at the track, as there has been a bit of a shakeup in terms of our local crate division. But he'll be at Oshweek, I believe, competing regularly up here in the number 2. I believe he's in a crate sprint car this year. I haven't talked to Al to know for sure, but I would assume he's back in a crate car. Looking forward to racing season in general, and it was great to see him and so many other drivers put their cars on display as part of that show.
Oh, I love that. I used to go to the mall race car shows when I was little. We used to have one here in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. Used to go to. I also don't know what it's crazy to me just how much everybody knows each other in this group. I mean, you broadcast from Merrittville with these guys running, and then there's all the guys who run the stuff in New York. Dean Reynolds is a part of, or Cody Higbee runs around, and the only people that I've ever met in real life out of this series were Liam, Nick Sheridan, and Tyler Pachalski at PRI. I mean, that's the only place that we come together. So this is really cool. It's a really cool thing that this series brings these guys together who spend pretty much the whole year together already, because you're racing so often, and then you get the off season, but you're just not tired of each other. You want to hang around more, so you do this.
Well, it's one of those things, Joe, where it's like if you're not racing against them or racing with them at your local tracks, you know of them because you're watching races on Flow, or you're watching on Dirt Track Digest, or whatever streaming platforms that you're using, Dirt TV. Just in general, these guys are all very aware of each other because there's so much ability to watch each other race and watch races from different race tracks, and that's kind of the beauty of where short track racing, but especially dirt racing, is in general in 2024, that almost all of us can be found streamed live somewhere. As far as I know, Merrittville not going to be streaming this year, so you're going to have to, if you want to see racing from my home track, you're going to have to join me on Saturday nights at Merrittville Speedway this year, but we'll see. Again, I think there's lots to be announced in the not too distant future. I also want to give a shout out to our race director, Doug Leonard, who runs some races at Merrittville Speedway and at Oshweek Speedway. He's been race directing the last couple seasons at both facilities, and he has moved on to be the new World of Outlaws race director. So congratulations to him. I'm so happy for him, and happy that he's going to be able to live out his dream, following the World of Outlaws sprint cars around, and being an integral part of that series going forward.
Wow, that's a big move. That's cool stuff right there. I know that's probably the biggest it gets in the dirt racing world. I might be biased because I am a sprint car guy, but I don't really think it gets bigger than that.
No, the World of Outlaws is pretty special. Obviously, as somebody who's an announcer who I'd love to chase a series around, or if that opportunity ever presented itself. But for now, I'm enjoying having a home track, and I can't wait to get back to it. And it's going to be a little bit weird not having Doug up in the tower with us, and arguing with drivers about what positions to be in at any given time, because that's the real job of a race director.
Well, I was going to say that is not something that he would be escaping, going anywhere that you're going with race cars. That is that is a given. Well, good on him. But hey, 40 more laps in this one. Cody Higby's leading. Ryan Beagle is second. Dean Meitzler is third for the time being. Anthony Roselli, then Dominic Roselli. Alan Slight sixth. Pat Reiser is seventh. Matt DeRitter technically eighth, even though his computer pooped out on him. I don't know if he's actually even trying to get back into the session here, but he has not scored, although he was supposed to take the green flag. I think he still gets show-up points for that, Jonathan. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure.
Well, you know what? He's kind of one of the guys that makes the rules, so I guess he can really decide how that plays out. But
that's a good point.
At the end of the day, a real shame, because we talked about off the hop earlier in the show how this is a track where Matt DeRitter could go out and have a really big night, especially closing out this 2024 season. So, you know what? A real shame, and you hate to see it for MDR Designs and Murder Graphics and everybody he represents on the side of his race car, and all he does for this series. As we got an eye on the Iceless 97 of Cody Higby, who is truly checking out on the field now. He's got a 1.3 second advantage on the big dog Ryan Beagle. Dominic Roselli has not been able to come through the field with the same pace that I thought he would. He's up to fifth.
Oh, whoa.
That almost got a little interesting again between the Rosellis. Something to note, too, Dean Meitzler up to third, having a great run in that 49 for Grandpa.
That is absolutely true. It threw me off for a second with Grandpa. I'm like, well, but yeah, he's the grandpa. Yeah, Dean's doing really good right now. He's just minding his P's and Q's, as Jonathan would say, just making sure he hits his marks. He's got no competition in front or behind him at the moment. He's got about a second to Beagle in second. He's got about a second and 2/10 to Anthony Roselli behind him. He doesn't really have to search that much to find something better than where he is right now. The track's it's pretty much set where everybody's running. I mean, Meitzler's in the middle. I think Beagle's running a little bit higher up the racetrack than the other guys. Yeah, I don't think you can get much higher than that. Cody Higby's been running in the middle, right there. And then the Roselli brothers, they were all over each other, so they're doing this now. It was a big slide job here from Dominic on Anthony, and Anthony crosses him back over. Now we got a little bit of a battle to watch. Woo!
Good race between them. Oh, there is another shade of paint, and those to be history. I mean, this is as tight a battle as we're going to see. Dominic trying everything he can to get past Anthony on the inside. If I'm Dominic, I'm sending it back to the outside. You know, Anthony's giving you that outside line. Why not take advantage of it rather than putting yourself in that position where you could spin yourself out again, battling on the inside? He'll try to sail it in there. Oh, he clips the inside wall. That's going to send the 80 up the racetrack and sideways, and Anthony Roselli still hangs on to the place.
Well, Anthony's going to have to try to cross him over again. Pretty easy this time. I'm surprised by that, too. Oh, contact from the outside there. Dominic came down a little bit. Yeah, why not go up top? I mean, Anthony Roselli was kind of pinning Dominic down. Now Dominic moves up, or at least he tried. Oh, he might have baited Anthony into sliding himself. And here goes Dominic to the inside. We'll see if this is a crossover that sticks or not. Anthony Roselli back under again. And more contact down the front stretch.
What's a few slide jobs between brothers, right? I mean, this is awesome racing action between these two as they trade back and forth for that fourth position in this race. Anthony doing a good job, just doing enough to stay ahead and keep coming back. He hasn't really had to take the fight to Anthony yet. This time, though, Anthony gets ahead. He'll try to slide up in front. Can't do it. Anthony hangs on the outside. Into 3 and 4. It's Anthony upstairs in the 7. Dominic Roselli down low in the 80. And now Dominic is clear and through to 4th position, and he can set his sights on trying to track down Dean Meitzler for what should be a very important 3rd place position in terms of the points standings.
Yeah, right as it stands right now, I think with Roselli's bonus point, I think the bonus points from qualifying first are what's going to keep him above. If they finished like this right now, I believe it would still be a 1-point lead in the championship for Dominic. That would get him 2nd place in the title. If he can catch up to Meitzler and pass Dean, or if Dean could pass Ryan, that would give him the opportunity. If Ryan passes Cody Higbee for the lead, then we're talking about Ryan Beagle taking second place in the championship as well. Now, I don't know about that, because we've got ourselves a solid second, almost 2 seconds now between the 97 and the 84, but it's not off the table yet. There's still about 20 laps to go. Anything can happen. Cody Higbee knows that better than anybody else.
Right now it is all Cody Higbee, and yes, he has had some wins kind of slip away at times, but I think right now he is in as good a position as he's been for any race this year. And this is just what the guy does, man. He is so good at just pacing the field the way he needs to do. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from the 97 right now. I find it hard to believe that anybody could beat him. But again, a caution could change everything here, Joe, with now 18 laps to go in the season.
Absolutely. We'll go on board with Higbee. We want to hear the throttle traces of this car, because I was watching and listening. Oh, Pat Reiser and Alan Slight are putting a battle on up here ahead of him. I was watching and listening, and I'll stop talking here in a second and let you listen along, because it really sounded like Cody was absolutely feathering this thing, and especially on the straightaways. Let's hear it. Oh my gosh. That's maybe half throttle. On a straightaway, yeah, he's definitely taking his time with this. That was a little more there. But yeah, Jonathan, he's really taking it easy with this thing and still making a gap.
Yeah, it's impressive, honestly, to watch this. I mean, just floats it in. He is a little sideways, but it's not like he's not on the throttle, so you know he's not burning anything up by doing it. It's wild what we're seeing from Cody Higbee, just really, truly cruising around this racetrack.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and check out this battle that's going on for 6th place right now. This is a pretty good one. It's Pat Reiser and Alan Slight. There's Alan. Let's get a little bit of a wider shot on these two. Pat Reiser in the 33, Alan Slight in the 2. And it is definitely a good battle between these two. It's very long-time drivers. Both of these guys have been with this series for, oh my goodness gracious. Oh my.
Wow.
No, come on.
This changes everything, Joe. 12 laps left on the board, and we may as well just reset this race to lap 1, except now we've got a 12-lap dash.
Yes, that is. It's going to even go down from there. We'll have to get an onboard of the replay here, check out what happens with Slight. It took a while for the yellow to actually slow everybody down on the racetrack, too, so that was a little bit concerning for a second, but let's jump backwards and let's jump on board, and we'll just get a quick shot of what it's like inside of this car. You can see how much he's already using up the wall. It's loose. It's slippery, and he's not getting the grip he needs, and then just gets caught and whipped around by the wall, and then unfortunately this part really screwed him. Getting stuck like this up against the wall, not being able to. Well, he didn't let the car roll down the racetrack either. He doesn't put it in reverse to get out of here, and that's why he sat still so long. Yeah,
exactly. It just a tough break for a veteran of this series in Al Slayton, and you hate to see it, but you almost love to see it too, because this really sets up one heck of a show to finish out this one.
It definitely does. We're going to get the number 2 car into the pits. I think he's going to get as much of that car repaired as he can. Yep, I think he's got to have a fast repair there. The drivers get 1. Cody Higbee leading. Ryan Beagle 2 is outside. You got Dean Meitzler and Dominic Roselli in row 2. Row 3 is Anthony Roselli and Pat Reiser. Slight trying to get back out there and caught up with these guys as the green flag is going to come back to him. We're going to have 8 laps to go at the line, and that's 8 laps to decide who wins this race and how the championship unfolds. Great restart by Cody Higbee.
Good start from Higbee. 3 wide for second. Look at Dean Meitzler making some time down on the inside. He might try to get both of them here for second. Dominic Roselli's going to send it in through the middle, and Beagle's up on the high side. This is a great battle for second in points between Dominic Roselli. Oh, no! Saver! A little bit of contact there. Looks like the 49's going to hang on to it, but that's going to cost him what was going to be a great finish for the 49.
Man, that would have been damn. That's disheartening. That's such a shame.
You just hate to see it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, people say that stuff for the meme sometimes, but that is truly something you hate to see because Dean
Yeah.
was really on his way to having a great podium finish, it seemed like, but just a little bit of contact there. And now Beagle's going to have Dominic Roselli right on his back bumper. And I think with where Roselli and Beagle are running, I believe this allows Dominic Roselli back into that second spot. Look at him sail it in. So aggressive.
This is crazy. You got 4 laps to go in the season. You may as well burn those tires into the cords. Dominic Roselli trying to figure something out that he can get himself to Ryan Beagle and put a fight to it. Cody Higbee in front of him has no competition to worry about, really. Ryan Beagle does have to worry about that 80 car every time he goes into the corners. 3 laps to go now, 2.5 for Cody Higbee as he leads the way down the backstretch. Easily going to get the most laps led in this one. We're definitely going to stick with the 80 car, though. This is very exciting.
Yeah, he's given it all he can to try to track down Ryan Beagle. I don't think he realizes that he doesn't really need to do that. Again, I think he's earned enough bonus points through the heat and through qualifying that he should be all right in terms of that second place battle. It's going to be really close, but Beagle doing a good job holding off Dominic Roselli as there's 1 lap to go in this BRPtv iRacing season. It's all about Cody Higbee, our champion, going to go out on top. He'll take the win into 3 and 4. He's going to take home the championship and the final race at Lanier. Who's going to take home second? Beagle, the big dog, takes home second. And I believe Dominic Roselli with that 3rd place finish is second in the championship over Beagle. But when you look at this podium, Joe, these are the 3 drivers who have probably been the class of the field. With all due respect to everybody else in the series who's run with us throughout this season, Higbee, Beagle, and Dominic Roselli have really put on some great racing between all of them in the last little while.
Absolutely agree with that. We're going to get all of them into the lineup on the front stretch, and we'll get to talk to everybody. At the end of this one, we are going to talk to the champion first. That is convenient that he won the race, that we can talk to him first, as we often try to do here on BRPtv. We'll just give him a quick second to get out and get set, and we'll try to get a good camera angle on these cars, and then why don't we go ahead and I'll start us off with our winner tonight, the driver of the number 97, Cody Higbee. This is Joe Donahue up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, my man, what a race to the finish. I don't know, do you think it was easy? It looked like it was easy for you.
Yeah, it was actually pretty tough. This place changes lanes so quick, so I knew I had to be on top of that. But yeah, I got a pretty good start. Dom slid in front of me right on the start there. I started second. He started on the pole. And he kind of slid across in front of me, and I figured, well, the top's probably faster right now, but I'll try the bottom. And I rolled the bottom, and it worked. And then, I saw Anthony pass him for second there, and I knew I had to move up. So I feel like I moved up right at the right time.
Well, you definitely looked like it. And tell me about the racetrack, too, because we had such a small amount of drivers, and seeing how it went in the heat race. Now, we had that warm-up session to burn it in a little bit, but the track really looked like it had to come around for you guys by the end of this one.
Yeah, it definitely came around. I think we started out running like 14 sevens, and then by the end there, I was running like 15 fours, so it really fell off. And the cars fall off too now with the updates and stuff, and they say there's tire wear, and so who knows what all that does to it. But yeah, the track really kind of took a while to burn off. But the biggest thing, we were on top of it, and like I said, moved to where I had to, and the lanes changed so quick here. I probably have 1 million laps here, probably the most out of any tracks on iRacing. So, I knew it was just really important to stay consistent, run consistent laps, run clean laps, and there's a little berm on the inside, like a little crease, and if you just keep your left sides in that, you're golden.
I would definitely agree with that from experience at this racetrack. And Cody, your experience with this series, you've been a champion of it before, but you are a champion of it again. And this season, there was no doubt that Cody Higbee was going to go all the way to the crown. How does it feel to take the win and the championship all in this last race of the season?
Yeah, it's really cool. As soon as they added the modifieds to the game, I knew it would be spending most of my time on here. And, I really don't play a lot during the week, but when they when you guys put on this league, it's a great thing to do during the summer or the winter here. So, when I get on here, it's just a fun thing, and I really enjoy running with these guys.
Well, we appreciate you being such a big part of this series and being so supportive of it. For the final time in this season, who do you have to thank and shout out here on the broadcast?
Yeah, as always, I want to thank you guys for putting this on. Like I said, it's a really special thing to do. And I want to thank everybody that watches week in and week out. And, I'm really looking forward to next season.
That's what we like to hear. Well, congratulations from us, Cody, on the win and for the championship. And we are excited to see what you have for us in your regular racing season coming up with the springtime starting and what you'll have for us next winter as well.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the outdoor season coming up here.
As are we. Congratulations, brother.
Thank you.
And that is Cody Higbee, your champion. Classy interviewer. He's pretty good at that. You could put a microphone in that guy's face and he'd be able to handle it. Jonathan, there's somebody else who's pretty good with the microphone is yourself, Jonathan. And I'll give you the quick stage here if you want to go ahead and talk to our second place finisher, Ryan Beagle.
Yeah, let's go for it here. We got him in the studio now. I believe, Ryan Beagle, you got a copy. It's Jonathan up in the booth.
I got you.
All right. Buddy, great drive. Smooth, consistent ride. Finishing out the year strong in second place. Just talk to us about your night tonight.
Yeah, kind of. I didn't know how good we'd run tonight. I don't really have much luck here. And we were just trying to find something to catch Cody, and we just couldn't do anything. He was just too good tonight.
Yeah, you know what? It was a pretty dominating performance, but you had some great exchanges with both the Rosellis out there. Talk to us about, how hard it was to. It seemed like it was hard to make passes and at least make passes stick. It seemed like there was a lot of laps spent battling side by side throughout the field.
Yeah, this place is probably one of the hardest to pass. It you wouldn't think that being so wide, but it's so momentum based that if you can keep your momentum up, you can pretty much just keep a guy behind you. But I was lucky enough to get those guys in the right spot at the right time and got around both of them. And then I think they started racing each other, and that usually never ends well when brothers race each other.
No, it can get a little hairy, and we've seen it already this season. Dominic made a good drive back through the pack, though, after bringing out that one caution. I wanted to ask you, it's been a year where there's been some kind of weird changes in competition, but you've been able to be consistent with this series. And you know what? One more podium for you. Just talk to us about what it takes to, I guess, how much are you putting into these things? Does it take a lot of practice to be really, really good at iRacing? Can anybody just hop on and be competitive? How much work are you putting in between, sessions that we see here?
If I'm being honest, I jump on at 7:45 and just run most of the practice session. But like I've been on here for, I think I started in like 2014, so I've been iRacing for 10 years. So it's like riding a bike. You get used to doing something, and you don't need a whole bunch of practice to be able to pick it back up. I think if I were to put a little more effort into it, we'd be able to run a little more consistent lap times. But I got stuff I'd like to do out in the shop, so I concentrate on that.
Yeah, you got a race car that we're going to be seeing around our parts in Southern Ontario in not too long from now. Can't wait for that. Can't wait to get back to the actual racetracks. But again, thanks for being a part of this series all season long and living in the virtual world with us. And who do you got to thank for this amazing season that you've been able to put together for everybody on your car?
Yeah, just everybody that's stuck this out, and thanks for putting it on, and congrats to Cody on the championship. I think he just kicked everybody's ass all year, and he probably should have won the championship last year if it wasn't for problems with his internet or computer or whatever it was on championship night. But no, congrats to him, and congrats to everybody else for sticking it out.
There he is, Ryan Beagle, wrapping up the season with a P2 finish. Still remains to be seen exactly where he's going to finish in the points, but I believe he'll be third to Dominic Roselli based on what we were calculating during the race. But again, that'll be finalized. Joe, you're the mathematician around these parts, so I'll give you some time to figure that out.
That's high praise. Yeah, we're working on that over here. We'll try to have that ready by the end of this broadcast. But in the meantime, Why don't we go ahead and talk to our third place finisher, and I'll bring him on stage with us. We got Dominic Roselli up in here. Dominic Roselli, Joe Donahue in the booth. You got a copy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, Dominic, I appreciate what you were doing at the end of the race because you were making it exciting at the end. It was a hell of a show for those last couple laps.
Yeah, I feel so bad. I got into Dean. He was having such a great race, and I was having a lot of fun playing cat, and he was the mouse there for a little bit there, and then racing with my brother too. We were racing nice and hard. I just drifted up, got into him, and then yeah, from then it was I had to find something to work, and man, did it start working there.
It definitely did. You kind of fell back a little bit with that contact with your brother, and you had to figure out a way to get back up there. How challenging was that when the track started being as old as it was at that point in the race? How hard was it to navigate those cars and figure out a way back up to where you had started from?
It was super difficult just because with the new update, the slick definitely got a lot slicker, and so you're not able to just roll through the middle and keep it nice and straight and smooth, and like that's the way to go once it gets slicked off. So just like I said at Weedsport last week, you just kind of had to search for the brown and get it and launch, and that's about all I did, and I really didn't think it was going to start working there, and yeah, there it is.
It's definitely a learning curve, right, to try to navigate that new update, navigate how the track changes and how the drivers around you are racing. And I think that summarizes your year pretty well, because I think if there was an award for most improved driver from the first to the last race of this season, it would be going to you. You had a little bit of a slow start, and you had to learn your way around this grid, these racetracks with this league, and you definitely turned it around into a hell of a job, actually. A second place in the championship points, definitely none too shabby. Talk to us about, you get to look back on these 16 races and what has come of it from your first stepping stone to now. It's kind of how you feel about the whole situation.
It was rough to start, definitely, for sure. Like I said before, I didn't really get to play a whole lot like during the year, and I don't really play that much that often. This winter was the most I've been able to race. So it took a little bit of getting used to, and guys like Cody and Ryan and Gavin and my brother and Dean, they race a lot, so they're a little bit more difficult to race around and not race around, be able to catch and pass and everything like that. So it took a little bit of getting used to, and once I did that, it was just capitalizing on situations. That's all it is when you're racing guys as good as Gavin, Cody, and Ryan, and when Brandon Plank was racing up at the front every week. It's just a matter of they make a mistake and you got to capitalize it because they're far and few between.
Absolutely agree with that. I've seen that year after year with this series. That is definitely how you have to go. But hey, Dominic Roselli, third place tonight, second place for the season. It's got to feel pretty good for you. Who do you have to shout out and thank for everything that's gone into this series and gotten you to the point where you are now as we close out of the final broadcast of the year?
Well, first and foremost, just got to thank, Corby, Matt, you guys for putting on this broadcast. Everybody has such a good time watching all this, and, it's some fun to do during the winter on your Monday nights after work. It's something to just sit down and watch and laugh or watch a good race, whatever it was. And, just got to thank everybody who helps me out in real life. I wouldn't have the ability to be able to do what I do on here if I didn't have those real life situations to bring back over, and that all is given to me by the great people I have around me.
Well, we appreciate you coming on and being a part of this league this year, winning Rookie of the Year, I guess you could unofficially say as well, and just supporting it. We really appreciate having the drivers, and we're looking forward to seeing what you've got for us next season.
Of course, you can definitely count me in. I can't wait to get going next winter.
Oh, dudes are going to hear that and go, hell yeah. Congratulations, Dominic.
Thanks, guys. Awesome
stuff. Jonathan, what a way to finish out this year. And we've still got one guy chilling with us a little bit. I don't know if you're feeling it, but we might be able to get one more guy in here for a quick postseason interview, maybe?
Let's see. Who's hanging around here? Why not? See if we can bring somebody in here.
We're gonna bring in the driver of the number 49. I'll give him to you quick. We didn't get to interview him at all this year, and we just have to. I feel like we just have to, because he's been such a loyal part of this series. He's still chilling in this Discord with us right now. Why don't we talk to Dean Meitzler?
Yeah, let's see if we can bring him up in this booth. Dean Meitzler, it's Jonathan up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, Jonathan, how you doing?
Not too bad, brother. Not too bad. We were so heartbroken for you, having a great run up at the front of the field and a little bit of contact. A great save on your part to keep it going and keep it green. But what could have been? I felt like we were watching maybe a podium performance from you tonight.
Yeah, it was right there within reach. And unfortunately, a little bit of a mishap on the track and put me back. But yeah, I just wanted to keep it straight and get back in there and try and get back up there as quick as I could. But unfortunately, there just wasn't enough laps left.
Well, you know what? You're one of the guys who's been incredibly loyal all season long. I think you only missed one race, and that was for a pretty important family moment. So we called you Grandpa on the broadcast, I should say, today. So, Dean, thanks again for being a part of the series and being so loyal, and even finding time to get back with us after accepting a new role in your life.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was a life-changing event there for sure.
Super cool. And you know what? I got to ask how you felt about tonight in general, because you were pretty fast, and Lanier is a pretty tricky track. Ultimately, you get it done, though, with a pretty great performance, even if the finish doesn't quite show it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was a learning experience every lap, trying to adjust how I'm driving. And, I mean, all season long, I've concentrated a lot on throttle control and trying to learn better on how to control that car going into the turns and keeping it straight.
Well, you did a great job tonight, and thanks for being a part of this series. Thanks for your commitment all season long, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for that 49 machine.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for putting on a great show every night.
There he is, Dean Meitzler. What could have been for this guy probably should have been amongst our top three, so I'm happy we were able to grab him for a few quick words there at the end of the season here, Joe.
Absolutely agree with that. That's a guy who deserved a little bit of time to just shout out to everybody who's watching along with us. And it actually also conveniently bought me a little bit of time to finalize our points standings for the BRP iRacing Series 2023-2024 season. So going down the order, we had already called it before the broadcast started. Cody Higbee is your champion. He finished the season with 729 points. That was the result of 6 wins, 15 top threes out of 16 races, and he was in the top 10 every single race. Very impressive season from the 97 car. Dominic Roselli ended up finishing in second place in the order with 3 wins, 7 top threes, and 15 top 10s. Third place in points was the number 84 of Ryan Beagle. Ryan Beagle came home with 2 wins and 9 podiums at the end of it over Gavin Isley in fourth place, even though he missed tonight's race. He still ended with 2 wins and 10 top 5s, got himself fourth, and then rounding out your top 5 in points was Anthony Roselli in the number 7 car. Anthony Roselli with only 1 win this season, but got into the top 10 all but twice. 14 top 10s for him. Sixth place in the championship order is Matt DeRitter with 548 points. 471 points put Dean Meitzler in 7th place at the end. Jeff Sharp, 8th place in points with 468. Tyler Pachalski in 9th with 401 points. And Pat Reiser rounded out the top 10 in points with 386. After him, it goes Dean Reynolds, Alan Slight, Jamie Porter, Brian Berger, Nick Sheridan, Travis Cunningham, Adam Hilton, Corby Daniels, Ryan Susi, Brandon Plank, Tyler Joshimbowski, Richie Pereira, Dan Sider, Travis Miller, and Liam Daniels. That's the whole rundown of the 25 as we finished 16 races. And Jonathan, it has been an absolute pleasure to be a part of it for all of these races. And I'll give you the center stage one last time if you want to give us your final word on what we've seen with the BRP iRacing Series this season.
You know what? It was a bit of a strange season. It wasn't exactly how we planned it or drew it up, but I think it still worked out to be a really great and entertaining year. Some new faces brought some great, exciting moments. We saw, a fantastic championship effort that needed to be rewarded and will be rewarded for Mr. Cody Higbee. It was really cool to see Joe, and I'm just super happy to be a part of it, and I'm really optimistic for what the future of this series is going to look like because we have some really committed guys who want to be a part of it, and there's some other folks who haven't yet been able to be a part of it that are chomping at the bit to be a part of whatever this series and whatever this channel is going to turn into.
Absolutely agree with that. So on behalf of what Jonathan said, I don't want to copy and paste what he said, but yeah, there's some great things coming down the road, and we're going to be very excited to come back at the end of the regular racing season next fall, get things back together and get this series going again. These guys are some of the best in the business and are just a good core, really solid group of people who respect each other and want to race each other and have fun. And that's what it's really all about. It's just having fun. And that's what we do here too. BRPtv, I mean, this is just kind of a thing we can do for fun. It keeps us sharp on our broadcasting skills. You can tell my skills have dulled a little bit from being used up in these last 16 races there, but it keeps us sharp. It's something to do. It keeps us occupied while we have no race cars to go watch, and it's nice. iRacing is a nice thing to have, and especially nice during the winter for us to come together and have some fun and meet people that maybe we wouldn't have come across elsewise. So it's a pleasure to bring the broadcasts to everybody, and you get to see them and root along with your favorite drivers and hope that they can get themselves some podiums and maybe see if they can beat Cody Higbee, or maybe you root for Cody Higbee and you're just chilling every week. But nonetheless, Matt DeRitter has done so much work for this series. It would be a disgrace to him to not call out how much he has put into this series in terms of time, graphics, effort, emotion. I mean, you could almost say blood, sweat, and tears go into this from Matt DeRitter. So we really have to shout him out with Murder Graphics and MDR Designs for being a part of this and really spearheading things as they go. We want to thank Corby Daniels for his effort in getting this show rolling and being a part of this season. Jonathan, great partner in crime to have alongside of me here. It's been a pleasure to work with him this whole season and to continue forward in the future. But really, we wouldn't be broadcasting it if there weren't people who wanted to watch it. So we got to thank everybody who's watching. That's you guys for being a part of this and just keeping everything going. Next season, well, that's a different story. But for now, have a safe farewell from us at BRP TV. Be sure to go to your local dirt tracks and support them. Be a part of this racing scene in the real world and help get the drivers to their favorite racetracks during the summertime. It's a good time to be outside and an even better time to be spending with your friends and family at your local dirt tracks. So, on behalf of the whole crew, on behalf of all of our partners and sponsors, I am Joe Donahue signing off for the final time of this season. Congratulations to that guy, Cody Higbee, for bringing home the championship, and we will see you all in the next broadcast coming, sometime in October or November. But until then, take it easy, everybody.